What does music in hell sound like? Good question, huh? Coming up next on Pastor Bob Daly. Well, I got a great comment on one of our podcasts. And, by the way, folks, some people seem surprised when they find out that we're a heavy metal ministry, and we are. Our, uh, our target audience is the Christian heavy metal crowd. We're all about discipleship and mentoring within that particular crowd. And that's what we've been doing for over 30 years. Some of you that don't know much about Sanctuary, but you found our videos, um, probably don't know much about our history, but that's what we're all about. So, when one of our podcasters, the deacon, did a little growling in one of his podcasts, and by the way, he's really good at it, and he's been in several bands where, that style of music is used, and he is into heavy metal and a heart of gold. He's a deacon. Well, he's a deacon officially. He went to school for it and was ordained as a deacon. But somebody made this comment, and actually there are several comments. This is just one of them. And he said, if there was music in hell, that's what it would sound like, according to his music. I know that you've got a heart of gold, Pastor Bob, but I'll tell you this kind of howling isn't going to be around in the coming ages. He says Romans 12:2 comes to mind, which again is, do not be do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You know where it's going. I thought it was an interesting comment, and it really opens up a great question, and that question is, what kind of music is in hell? Let's talk about that. In fact, let's go a step further. When Satan is deciding what kind of music he's going to use, what music qualifies for the maybe the right music in hell, how does he decide? Well, he might look at artists, for instance, and of course he would choose those artists that are either satanic or atheists, people like Rimsky-Korsakov, people like Tchaikovsky, people like Richard Wagner, classical music. He might use David Gilmour, or he might use Billy Joel, or Randy Newman, or Gary Newman. He might use Charlie Parker in jazz, or he might use Richard Rodgers, who wrote all those great Broadway musicals, or mellow music like Linda Ronstadt. And he certainly would avoid music by Christian artists like Stryper or Alice Cooper or some of the guys in Megadeth. See where we're going with this? So then what styles would be appropriate? Styles of music. Well, you'd really kind of have to rule out love songs because that promotes unhealthy sexuality. So that music would not be good for us, but they'd be good for hell. You might want to have John Philip Sousa did marching music because it stirs up that fighting spirit and makes us aggressive. You might want to do country music because it already is doing a great job of exploiting heartache and bad marriages, and maybe you'd have to have that kind of music in hell, and that part I understand. Just kidding. If you were going to ask me what kind of music would be the best music for hell, I would probably choose according to my personal tastes, which I think this guy has done. And of course, country would be last on my list. You know, I understand that there is great music around, country music that is Christian country, that speaks of the Lord and speaks of salvation, great lyrics. And I just can't understand how God can use it because I don't like it so much. And a lot of times we do just that. We base things on our personal taste instead of, the reality of it. The reality is that country music is fine for a whole lot of people. It just isn't something that I personally enjoy. And yet when people ask me, and I've said this before, what kind of music I like the most, I'm a rock and roll heavy metal person mostly, but I like a little bit of everything. I even listen to jazz and even swing sometimes. I always say that I like good music because good music's always good and bad music's always bad. And within almost any genre, even country, there are songs that I like if they're done really well and they're creative. But folks, it comes down to this. You don't judge something by a musical style. You judge it by the heart. What are the lyrics? What is it saying? You'd be surprised at some of these songs you've already written off because you don't like the style. You'd be surprised on the lyrics of a whole lot of them. You'd be surprised that many of them well, are exciting and really out for Jesus Christ and speak of salvation. You'd be excited to see that, you know, that people are getting saved through it, that people are getting set free through it, that the lyrics are really speaking to people's hearts, even if it doesn't match your personal taste. You see, personal taste has nothing to do with what God uses. It really doesn't. And in the grand scheme of things, I don't think there is a particular style of music in heaven or hell, honestly. I think music can be used to celebrate a whole lot of things. And, there's some music that's good for us, there's music that isn't good for us, and mostly having to do with lyrical content. Well, I hope that helps. And I hope you'll understand that not everybody likes the same style music that you do. We're all different, we're all diverse. I like it that way. God bless you. Have a great day.